Welcome to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Eric and Rob.
Well, it took a little bit, but we are back.
It has begun!
Here to talk about another movie review, Mortal Kombat Annihilation from 1997. I am your host, The Real Big E, joined by my co-host, the Ambassador, Rob. How you feeling this evening?
Feeling good this evening, man. I got a little time off from work. I'm off today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. It's well deserved. I've been working hard, even though I work from home. Still work hard. I go in one day a week, and I needed some time off. We've had some things going on, just personal things, and I needed some time off. I got it, and I feel great tonight.
Cool, man. Cool. And I know, regrettably, he's joining us tonight once again for this one, but he suffered through. MJ Book, the host of the Countdown podcast. How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's always great to be here on the show. And my therapist has a few words for you later.
Is that so?
Yes, my therapist. I had to go into therapy after certain events.
What the hell is that?
I don't feel like it was that bad, but all right. So this is I don't know. This movie has a reputation, so to speak. Maybe not the best reputation, but we're gonna get into it. We're gonna try to make this one, as easy to get through as possible, also entertaining. So, without further ado, so Mortal Kombat Annihilation was released in 1997. It is the sequel to the original, which was in 95. It was released on November 21st, 1997. It was shot on location in Thailand with a budget of $30 million. Domestically, it made $70 million. And worldwide, it actually made $122 million. So, not a flop technically, and also box office wise, it was the number one movie its first weekend of release. And there are some big time movies we've all seen that never did that. So
The suckers who came in and watched it the first time.
see, we all watched this movie together. See, I was in town recently. So myself, Book, Rob, we all watched this movie together. And I was watching Rob because I wanted to get his reaction. We didn't spoil anything for him. And I wanted to see what he was going to pick up on, especially in the beginning. Because he did what we did in 95. So I'm going to talk about this cast. Because I noticed that he noticed some things were different this time around. So this movie stars Robin Chow, Talisa Soto, James Remar, Sandra Hess, Lynn Red Williams, and Brian Thompson. Directed by John R. Leonetti, who this is his directorial debut.
Ouch.
Yeah. So, like you said, you notice right away in the beginning, and they made a mistake too, because they show you footage from the first movie at the beginning of this one to kind of give you a refresh, which is fine if you have the same cast. And they show Liu Kang is the first person you see in the shot. And then you see Katana. Then they pan to Johnny Cage, who kind of looks like the same guy, but something's different. Then you see Sonya. You go, wait a minute now. That ain't Bridget Wilson. Then you definitely get pissed off when you see James Remar is Raiden. It's like, whoa, all right, that's not Christopher Lambert. Like I was about to say, I have notes. I'll be in some fun facts. I'll be putting out there during this review. So to get started, Christopher Lambert was offered the role of Raiden, but he declined. He didn't like the script.
What a shock.
Lyndon Ashby, who played Johnny Cage originally, also turned the movie down because of the script.
Seems like a pattern.
Bridget Wilson also offered her role, but she turned it down because she was going to play. She was going to be in I Know What You Did Last Summer, but Sarah Michelle Gellar ended up getting that role anyway, so she just didn't do nothing. And let's see. Oh, fun fact: because Robin Shaw was so busy, because not only was he acting in this movie, he was the fight coordinator because of the budget. $30 million ain't a lot of movie for a major motion picture, so yeah, double up. Tony Jaa actually was his stunt double in this movie, believe it or not. And there's another name I'm going to bring up later that Rob, you ain't going to believe who was in this movie.
Okay, well, I can't wait to hear this.
What else I got here? Okay, so during a 20th anniversary screening of the film, Robin Shaw revealed that due to a tight budget and shooting schedule, that's not, like I said, he had to pull double duties as leading man and the fight choreographer. So that's why Tony Jaa had to step in, and he did not oversee the fight between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, which I have something else to say about that fight later. Because he was off. They were shooting scenes at the same time. So that's why he wasn't around. All right. Now.
Emperor of Outworld. The Earth was created in 6 days. So too shall it be destroyed. And on the 7th day, mankind will rest in peace.
Shakespearean version?
I tell you what they destroyed. They destroyed the damn green screen because these effects, good God. Oh.
My effects are better.
I mean, you could see the outline on a lot of people. You can see arms disappear in this first scene. I mean, it's bad. This CGI was god awful. It's probably the worst part about the movie is the effects. It was 97. And this came out around the same time Spawn did. So they were experimenting with effects. And I don't know, the guy that plays Jax, Red Williams, he talked about it, how they shot more scenes than that were in the movie. And the original cut didn't have as many special effects. So they went back and added a bunch. Don't know why, because it did not help. So, like the first movie ended with Shao Kahn invading Earth. He wasn't supposed to. He broke the rules of the tournament. He invades, and he brings all his generals with him, including Sindel, who,
Jesus Christ.
For all intents and purposes, every review I've seen of this, everybody says this is probably one of the worst lines in movie history.
Brother, you're alive. Too bad you will die.
Razzies were built for her.
Oh my God. Oh man. And fun fact again. So Musetta Vander is her name. She plays Sindel. Her and Talisa Soto were 4 years apart in age in real life.
Another shock.
Okay. So we get this fight between Raiden and Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn played by Brian Thompson. A lot of people know from the X-Files. I gotta remember, like in '97, I was 10 years old. this movie came out. So watching this movie at 10 years old, I was enthralled. I was like so amped to see Shao Kahn on screen. I didn't even pay attention to his costume. Okay, it's clearly a rubber mask. Like it's
Just a bit.
it's terrible. And this fight is terrible. There's so many flips in this movie. I mean, people jumping. All you see is somebody do this, and they go off screen, and then you see this, and they go off screen. So it ends up being bad. Raiden ends up winning the fight, and then Shao Kahn cheats, grabs Sonya, and Book. As much as I know you don't like this guy, I gotta think that Johnny Cage said he was looking around, saw what was going on, saw the bad effects, saw the script, and was like, "Yeah, I'm getting up out of this movie." Because Shao Kahn wasn't even thinking about him, and he ran and kicked Shao Kahn, and Shao Kahn snapped his neck, and Johnny was gone.
Best part of the movie. No more Johnny Cage.
Yeah, you just see Sonya screaming Johnny, and that sound effect. I mean, I've seen a TV version of this. They had to edit that out, but that was a disgusting sound effect when he snapped his neck. That was nasty. And then, Shao Kahn says, 6 days, the world will be mine. And yeah, movie begins. Rob, I know. Well, I don't know what was going through your head, but so far, by comparison to, because this is the sequel to the '95 movie, so I can't compare it to 2021. So just
Well, look, not comparing it to 2021. You've already made mention. The first thing that I noticed is what happened to the original cast. With the exception of Robin Chow and the lady who played Katana, everybody's different. James Remar, who I'm familiar with, I've seen him in other movies. He was in 48 Hours and a couple of other
Warriors.
movies. Yeah, The Warriors. Yeah, great movie. But I was like, where's Christopher Lambert? Where's everybody? So that was the first thing for me. And then Johnny Cage getting killed right away, a surprise to me. I didn't look, it didn't make or break the movie, but even though I'm not familiar with the video game, I know he's one of the main characters, so I was surprised to see his neck get snapped so quick into the movie.
Yeah, in the game, because Mortal Kombat 3, that's what they based this movie off of. He did die between 2 and 3 in the game, so they had to kill him. I know what you're thinking, Book, but I'm gonna just let you go anyway.
What about Johnny?
Any of the beginning here.
Well, let's just face the facts. For the listeners, I love the original. So for 2 years, because the way that first one ended, I was hyped. I could not wait for this damn movie. And I remember sitting in the theater, and my mom is right there next to me. And at first, I see the mask. I was like, okay, I could have bought that at the local Halloween prop store. All right, that doesn't look good. These effects, okay, this is not looking good. But I'm invested still. I'm still gonna give the movie a shot. It hasn't lost me at this point.
Okay. Yeah. Remember, I was 10, so I was amped. I was invested. I didn't have the perspective I do today.
I was 19.
So, yeah, it's a lot different.
And your mom was at the movie with you?
Mm-hmm. She went with me.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
There was later.
So then we get this meeting between Shao Kahn and Shinnok. Well, I won't reveal who Shinnok is until later. It's kind of it's a pointless meeting. I only bring it up because there's more flips Because you can't just have a regular conversation in this movie. You have to flip first. And then Shinnok does the electric slide.
Slide to the left. Slide to the right.
God.
Oh, man.
Sheesh.
Okay. So let's get to the first real fight in the movie. I actually enjoyed this fight even today. So for the purpose of helping Rob, so Liu Kang, the first robot he's fighting here is smoke. You saw the smoke first when it was rising up, that smoke. They kind of, made that one simple. I actually enjoyed this fight. I thought it was really hard hitting. And then you have Katana. They do this a lot in this movie. When there's a male and a female in a fight, the male fights the character and the female tends to fight the idiots, the soldiers. So Lou pretty much gets his ass handed to him by Smoke. I mean, it's not even close. And Katana is again whooping all the druids, all the soldiers' ass, and she has her famous fans that she some kind of uses. Like she uses them kind of as like nunchucks or fighting sticks, and then at the end opens up the fans, but doesn't really use them. So kind of pulled their punch there, I guess. And so, fun fact: Sector was not in this movie. Who was the other robot, the red one? But they gave Smoke his power, which is the missile that Sub-Zero would come by and freeze. And
when he flies in,
yeah, that effect was terrible too. He's sliding down this icicle and freezes Smoke. And in the same time Liu Kang kicks Smoke off the cliff, he somehow jumps away from the explosion. Can't explain that one either. All right. So then we find out that this Sub-Zero is the younger brother of the first Sub-Zero from 95, which is true to the game. So kudos to him for that. All right. Fun fact. I don't know what number I'm on, but here's another one for you.
You were researching big time.
Again, I said earlier, they had to recycle stunt doubles. So stuntmen would play multiple characters. So the guy that plays Cyrax is the same guy that plays Scorpion. Apparently, he did the Cyrax fight first, or they shot that one first, and then they shot this one because his ankle was sprained during this fight. And this is also the fight that Robin Shaw did not oversee. And you could kind of tell because it was, while they had some good moves in this fight, when Scorpion shows up, it's pretty sloppy. I mean, it's, I don't know. I mean, they show, and it's stupid. So Sub-Zero, because there's a gap, Sub-Zero makes this bridge between the two cliffs, which they fight on. Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight on. It later gets broken. Liu Kang somehow flips all the way on the other side anyway. It's like, what the hell did you build a bridge for?
Bridge?
So in any event, Sub-Zero gets knocked down. He's about to fall down to his death, and Liu Kang does that ridiculous flip to save him. And Scorpion kidnaps Katana.
They did my boy Scorpion dirty again.
No, this was 10,000 times worse.
Oh, it was worse, but I'm just saying they did him dirty again.
Here's another fun fact.
Oh, God.
And you will really get a kick out of this. So Chris Casamassa was going to come back to play Scorpion. Instead, he did stunt work for Batman and Robin.
He was doomed. He was doomed.
So
there's no good way to go there.
That was damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah. That was
That's bad.
So now we get to finally my favorite character in the movie, where Sonya gets to go rescue Jax from the military facility. I'm gonna try to be politically correct when talking about Jax, but they look. I love the character, but watching it now as an adult, like man, they blacked him all the way up. They
Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about.
because everything out this man's mouth.
Shaw, what?
Oh man, but but he was also like the kind of the vehicle for the audience. Like he was calling out stuff like when Cyrex shows up, he's
What the hell is that?
because he doesn't know what's going on, and Sonya's trying to explain everything to him. And here we go again. Cyrex versus Jax. Sonya fighting the soldiers, the Outworld soldiers, and Jax has these mechanical arms that's like, just like he does in the game, but they ain't doing him no damn justice because Cyrex is kicking his ass.
Yo, I take it this ain't something we can talk about. Guess not.
And the first thing he does is, yo man, can we talk about this? Yo, big black ass, you better get up and fight.
He doesn't do a whole lot of fighting.
At the end, he does, but it
He's
takes
a good
him
punching
a while.
bag.
It takes him a while. Sonya, on the other hand, is whooping ass. All these dudes' ass. Real quick, I know we talked about Sonya in the first one. How she had this. Everybody was after Sonya in this. Nobody's after Sonya in this movie, but they objectify the shit out of her in this movie. She's the only one walking around with booty cutter shorts and a tank top.
Yeah, she's wearing some skimpy stuff.
And that camera is up her ass after this movie.
It's a nice ass.
Hey man, yeah, I'm not mad.
I think she looks better than the original Sonya. Some ways I liked her more than the original Sonya.
I was going to say that. And look, we respect women on this show, but we're men, and she was an attractive girl, and yeah, they obviously that's one of the reasons they hired her, and they were exemplifying that, and so I was enjoying that.
Yeah, well, apparently the director was too, because that camera goes all up her leg and all everywhere. And hey, and there's another fight we're going to talk about with Miss Sonya, but as far as this one's concerned, Jax does finally get a hit in on Cyrex, and he starts working him over, and of course gets his arm stuck in the wall. They outside of blacking him up, they kind of made him a buffoon in the beginning here.
Kind of. He was a buffoon.
And then Sonya comes in, helps him out, and she uses her fatality, the kiss of death, to take out Cyrex. And
green screen.
We get probably the worst jumping explosion cuts you ever see in your life. I can admit that now. That was off. If I looked at Jax looked fine, but if you ever watch Sonya during that explosion, oh my god, what the hell was she doing?
I busted out laughing in the movie theater. This is when I was okay. I'm a little worried, but I'm still invested. But that was really, really bad.
Yeah. Oh. So we're talking about cast being replaced. So the original guy that played Jax was Gregory McKinney in the first movie. He actually was going to play Jax again, but due to health problems, he couldn't take the part, and he actually died in 1998.
Ooh.
Oh.
So yeah. And Michael Jai White was another candidate for the role, but he took the lead part in Spawn instead. So a lot of moving pieces around here.
Oh boy, he was damned if he did, damned if he don't.
Yeah, but I can see why he would take the lead in Spawn over a supporting role in Mortal Kombat. But Mortal Kombat was already a proven franchise, so yeah, it could have gone either way. Didn't hurt his career any.
Nope. And that's pretty much the end of Act 1. And we get to Act 2. All right. Liu Kang out in the desert. looking for Night Wolf, which isn't racist at all. The guy but they casted the right guy. They got this guy. He actually was. Y'all remember the movie, the Indian in the Cupboard?
Yes, he was the Indian.
He was the Indian in that. His name's Lightfoot. So in the game, you have a different type of fatality called an animality, where you turn into an animal and you kill your opponent. So, like Liu Kang, for example, turns into a dragon, the infamous dragon from the logo. Night Wolf, as you saw in the movie, turns into a wolf, even though they had him as a wolf first, and then they, turned him. That wasn't that bad as far as CGI goes compared to the end, which we'll talk about. But that was the whole point of the scene, to get Liu Kang to unleash his animality. I know in the 2021 version book, we had talked about how there's things, if you're a casual viewer, you will not pick up on. This movie was made for fans and fans only. If you have no clue what any of this was, you're just like, well, I don't know what the hell's going on, but this shit is crazy.
One way of putting it.
There's the Indian just turned into from a wolf. There's
Great
black
effects.
dudes got metal arms. There's robots and shit. I don't know what's going on. So he gets put in a dream state, and then we meet Jade, who she was the second test, I guess. First one was courage. I guess the second one was loyalty. Night Wolf said 3 tests. He only did 2 in the whole movie. There was no third test, by the way. So don't know what happened with that.
Ran out of money.
Yeah, I guess so. So Jade they end up fighting for a little bit, but Jade ends up saying she's going to help Lou find Katana, but I don't trust her. Didn't trust her back then. Something's up with this. Cut back to Sonya and Jax walking through this gorge, and we get probably a lot of people's favorite fight in the whole movie between Sonya and Melina. 2 chicks fighting in the mud. Man, I love this fight. I could watch this over and over and over again. This is awesome. Honestly, if you really look at it though, outside of the mud and all that stuff, they actually do go at it in this fight. It's short, but they go at it, and it's hard hitting. The way she kills Melina is kind of almost like how the first Sonya killed Kano in the original movie. But this might be the best line in the whole movie. He walks up to Sonya and he goes,
I don't know much longer I can take all this whacked out junk, but you do look good in mud.
Jax.
Well, you do.
This was the point. This was the point in the theater that I was worried. This was when I realized, okay, this movie is really showing its hand. This is only going one direction. Now I'm scared to death. That effect was extremely bad and laughable. And I remember looking at Rob's face and the wincing, which was a common thing.
Yeah.
The wincing was bad.
Especially when he knocked him in the ground and you just see the...
Yeah, that was bad. That was a really bad and cheap effect. I mean, it's like there are video games out there that had better effects than that. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, for 97, they're 10 years out of date. I mean, Super Mario Brothers had better effects than this.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
God,
$30
I
million
can't
in 97, that's a decent amount for a movie. But yeah, the effects were bad, and we haven't even talked about the music yet. But yeah, the effects were really, really weak, and maybe at some point we'll get to the music, which to me was almost even worse.
What? Do you mean the score or do you mean the techno?
Same thing.
The techno.
Yeah,
It's the same
The
thing.
techno was awful.
No, the techno is the soundtrack. The score is kind of the I don't know, I can't even hum it right now, but there's an actual separate score that I liked.
I
But
know
the
which one
techno-
you're thinking. The techno though outnumbered it.
The techno, yeah, it did, but the techno was kind of a Mortal Kombat trope. Yeah, that's why they had to kind of have it in the new one, but they wanted to alter it, kind of make it current. But yeah, that was, I mean, 97 techno was it until Eminem killed it. All right. All right. Now we got Raiden going to the Elder's Temple to go get a haircut and change his clothes, pretty much. And I mean, he came out, he was feeling good about himself because he come out strutting. He sees Jade. He was like, hey, who's this? And she fight as good as she look. I'm like, damn, dude. Got your haircut, you feeling good about yourself, huh? And it's kind of funny because he was telling them, he's trying to round up the troops, motivate them, telling Liu Kang, oh, it's not your fault, it's okay. You lost Katana, we'll get it back. It's about us sticking together, being one. And then he goes right at Jax. What is up with your arms, bro? It's like, dude, you just said let's unite, and then you go come at my man.
Good point, though. What was up with those arms?
I mean, he was already a big guy. So, I mean, it didn't really, I don't know. But anyway, this is all just a ploy to get the fighters to Outworld. See Shao Kahn and Sindel using her scream to destroy the gorge, and Raiden uses the last bit of his powers to get to Outworld because he has no powers in Outworld. Why? I don't know. I've never been explained why he can't do anything in Outworld, but he can. Okay. Here's where I have the biggest problem with this movie. We get this fight with Raiden. So Raiden didn't fight at all in the first movie. So I guess they figured he had to fight in this one. And that's fine. That's cool. Hey, director, can you move the camera away from the stunt double, please? Jesus Christ.
Here's the thing about that. It took me back to old Star Trek. Because that's how it was on old Star Trek with the fight scenes. You could clearly see it wasn't them. So it was kind of funny. But it's like, okay, that was the 60s. This is the 90s. Come on.
No, man. They, like, normally, okay. No movie's perfect. Sometimes you can tell it's a stunt double in the shot. But you don't see this. You don't see the face. You can tell it's not the actor. Fine, they do quick cuts. Nah, not here. That camera lingers on who it is. Long enough for you to look at it and go, oh, I know who that is. Ain't that Darth Maul? That's Ray Park. Is the stunt double for Raiden. And apparently, I don't know if this is true. From what I've read and heard, George Lucas was watching this movie, saw Ray Park as a stunt double, and said, "That's my Darth Maul." I don't know if it's true or not, but it would make sense because this is Ray Park's feature film debut. And he also doubled as Baraka and somebody else. Oh, one of the reptiles.
You realize how much shit has been connected to this damn movie?
Robin.
I mean, you connected so much shit to this movie.
These are just the facts, man.
Well, look, obviously Ray Park had skills. Now, look, they could have filmed that scene better. No way. Look, I knew it wasn't James Remar doing the fight work.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, I knew he wasn't going to do it, but they could at least, you're supposed to be convinced that the actual actor is doing the work. But no, this was some of the worst some of the worst choreography I've ever seen. Obviously, James Remar wasn't doing it, but that's not a slight on Ray Park. Ray Park is extremely talented, and I thought he showed some skills, so I could see why George Lucas would hire him. But I think the joke I made as we were watching the movie is that, wow, George Lucas, that means George Lucas watched this movie. That could explain some of what we saw in the second trilogy of Star Wars movies that were not very good, with the exception of Revenge of the Sith.
Right. Yeah. George Lucas hates CGI as well. Hates a good CGI anyway.
Well, that's because all three of that second trilogy were almost completely CGI.
I said good CGI.
I mean, it's CGI.
Yes, but
I don't mind that CGI.
The problem I had with those three, except the third one, the first two, actually, Phantom Menace was what they do? They was remastered, because the original Phantom Menace, if you can find it anywhere, Yoda's a puppet. Yoda's still a puppet, and a lot of those effects are practical, but they remastered it, and then Yoda's CGI. So, yeah. But anyway, let's just get to the final fight here, because there's a lot of other miscellaneous stuff that ain't really important. So we get the final showdown between Shao Kahn and Raiden, and all it takes is one blast, because Raiden's mortal now, and Shao Kahn kills Raiden, and that sparks up the load screen. Choose your character. Liu Kang's gonna fight Shao Kahn. Jax is gonna fight Motaro. Sindel versus Katana, and Sonya versus Ermac.
Leftovers.
And leftovers. Noob Saibot and Ermac. I'm gonna start off with Jax versus Mr. Ed.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you eat that thing.
So Lynn Red Williams and Jerome McBee, who plays Motaro, were both from American Gladiator. So Saber, y'all might know Saber from American Gladiator. That's who plays Jax. I don't know who Jerome McBee was, but they were both from America, so they knew each other. So it's kind of cool that they got to have this fight scene together. Red also said that like they had more. Their fight was longer when they were shooting, and they cut a lot of it. But I was mostly invested in this one, because outside of those two and Liu Kang and Shao Kahn, I didn't even care about the other two fights going on. It was kind of stupid, especially Sindel and Katana. That was absolute trash. And Sonya was just getting her ass kicked by Ermac and Noob Saibot. So here are the arcs. So Jax has an arc, so to speak. He's really the only person in this movie that has an arc, and it's to believe in yourself. And he doesn't need these, robotic arms that were really not even robotic arms. They were robotic sleeves. Because I noticed watching the movie, you could see his fingertips. I was like, wait a minute now. Did they cut off all this and leave his hands? Or what's going on here? So Motaro rips off his sleeves, and Jax goes to work on him, whoops his ass, and then goes to help out Sonya. And then everybody stands back and watches Liu Kang fight Shao Kahn. No, we're not going to help him out, because he's not fighting the biggest baddie in the whole universe or anything. Nah, let's just stand here and watch.
I actually do have an interesting little fun fact for you, since you were given fun facts. Motaro was in Batman and Robin.
Was he?
He was one of the hockey thugs.
Oh.
He was in it though. Since you were connecting everything, I thought I would throw that one out to you. He was in Batman and Robin.
Well, him and Chris Casamassa can go get a drink together. Okay. Let's just get to it because the fight really isn't important. Get back to the animality because that was the whole point of him going to see Nightwolf.
Try to get another beer.
So Liu Kang turns into the infamous dragon. And right on cue, Jax, they cut to Jax. He goes,
"Oh, nah, I done seen everything."
And
The audience was
then you see, right, he was the audience. He was the vehicle.
Yeah, but we were saying it for the wrong reasons.
And then you see Shao Kahn. He's supposed to turn into a Hydra. But if you really look at it up close, first, he turned into an elf. Because his head and the ears.
Hands.
Yeah. It's awful.
It's really
this
bad.
And this CGI is,
It's the
oh
worst.
My God. It looks like some copy pasted. Oh, it is the shits. It's the
original
shits.
Clash of the Titans special effects were better. Those old Sinbad movie special effects were better.
I've seen the original Clash of the Titans too, and yes, it was better.
Right. I mean, does this look like they spent $30 million?
Hell no.
Maybe it was just for paying the actors.
This is where majority of the money went, was this sequence. And they ran out of money. That's why they had to stop it.
Maybe that was a sign telling them maybe you shouldn't be filming this.
Yeah. I mean, I get why everybody else didn't come and help because they were just standing there and all like, look at this bullshit here.
Yeah.
Okay. In the end, the Elder Gods show up and help Liu Kang defeat Shao Kahn. Earth gets restored, and we get back to Liu Kang's temple. Raiden gets resurrected and becomes an Elder God, and yeah, they're a family. Forget Vin Diesel.
Liu Kang get some action.
Yeah, oh, he gets a kiss. Whoop de doo.
That's the most action he's gotten.
And then my favorite part of the ending, though, Raiden walks up, and he grabs Sonya and Jax, and he's like, looking at Jax like, "I'll be watching you. Stay out of trouble." In other words, keep your hands off this white girl. Hey, it's the 90s, man. You ain't getting no black on white. And the credits roll to some more techno music. All right. Well, I'm gonna just get me out the way because I know I'm the odd man out here. As a kid, this was kind of one of my favorite movies because it was just one of my favorite, based off one of my favorite games. I was 10 years old when this came out, so didn't have the perspective as an adult, but looking back now, it is my biggest guilty pleasure of a movie because I can sit back and watch it and it doesn't bother me. But I know it's a piece of shit. I know there is hills and mountains of problems with this movie. As I rattled off with, all my notes. So, hey, if you're truly a Mortal Kombat fan, I will recommend it because you want to see your characters on the screen. But I would warn you that the quality ain't up to par, even for 97. So, I can't.
Come on.
I'm gonna go with the old grain scale for this because it doesn't make sense with the, we normally grade matches.
I got you.
I'm going to give this movie a B.
A B as in boy, as in brother, a B.
bad, maybe? Is that what the B stands for?
Okay, wow. Okay. I
I'm
thought
done
we
talking.
kept it real on this podcast.
I'm done talking. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, well, look, there's some good news and some bad news here. I didn't like it as much as you, Big E. That's the bad news. The good news is I didn't hate it as much as MJ Book did. But with all that said, and I'm going to use the old grading scale because, like you said, the new grading scale really doesn't make sense in this case. I've got to give this a D because, man, the CG $30 million you said they spent on this one, I could not tell. I don't know where the money went. Somebody pocketed the money. It did not go into the actors because you hired all new actors except for the two main characters. Okay, Katana, I guess, and Liu Shang. It definitely did not go into the special effects or the CGI.
Well, it
Where'd the money
did.
go? What's that?
But it did actually, because a lot of the money when
It wasn't good people though.
I couldn't tell by looking at it. So look, I have to go D, and look, I'm looking on IMDb right now. Rotten Tomatoes. Do you know what the rating for Rotten Tomatoes on
Yes,
this one
I
was?
do.
Yes,
I'm reading it right now.
yes.
2%. 2%. IMDb on a scale of 1 to 10, 3.7.
7.
It's brutal.
It's
So I got to go.
Yeah.
D. I think I'm being generous. I won't go F, but I would not watch this again.
All right. Go ahead and unleash, man.
Okay. What can I possibly give this thing that you bestowed upon us to watch? I mean, it is a different kind of movie. What could I possibly give this movie?
Oh man.
I don't know. But I'm pretty sure listeners, viewers, you all know what to do. Please scream it with me, loud and extremely proud. This is a flaming motherfucking dumpster fire of a fucking F. Are you out of your mind? A B? A B?
Thought we kept it real.
Dude, seriously, a B?
Okay.
Give me a break. You're full of it right there. There's no way you really think that that piece of shit is a B. I was also watching your reactions, and you're not keeping it real because several times you closed your eyes. You closed them so that you wouldn't even look at this piece of shit. So you know it's not a B. You know it's not a B. I'm going to give you one more chance to give yourself to be real because you know this is not a B. I'm handing it to you. I'm giving you one more chance. Really think about this. You have a chance.
Look,
come on.
I'm keeping in mind Big E was 10 years old. He's looking at it from that 10-year-old in the theater. I get that point. So look, if that's your grade, that's your grade.
He's not 10 now.
Boy,
he's not 10 now.
All right, listen. Let me take the heartstrings out. Realistically, it's a C minus because I gave 2021, I think, a B minus or C plus, and I gave the 95 one about the same. So I can't give this one that because it's not as good. But I'll give it the lowest grade, C minus. Real talk, C minus. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave it.
That's fair.
And by the way, once again, when suffering is done,
Another one.
this review is brought to you by alcohol for when you really have to watch some really extreme shit, such as Mortal Kombat Annihilation. To our host, thank you, sir.
Hey man,
Cheers.
truth be told, I'm drinking on every podcast, so it don't matter whether it's good or bad. That's what I do. Like Mark Henry says, it's what I do.
Yes,
sir.
But this was so bad for the viewers. I had to bring out the F.
Well, look, I was expecting F based on the buildup from both of you, but I gave it a D, and I'm sticking with that. I feel like that's a fair grade. Look, man, I've seen F movies. I've seen movies far worse than this one. Believe it or not, as bad as this one was, I've seen far worse. So,
Okay, so
looking at it from that perspective, I couldn't go F.
Ready to Rumble.
Hey,
Mortal
man,
Kombat
yeah.
Annihilation.
Yeah. Hey, look.
Ready to Rumble was way worse.
How about just a noose? I don't want to watch either of those again. I'll take a noose. I'm not watching either of these despicable, deplorable pieces of dung ever again. It's done.
But you'll watch Howard the Duck.
Guilty pleasure.
Mm.
And I didn't force you to watch Howard the Duck. I haven't forced any of you to watch Howard the Duck.
Okay, but you want Rob to watch Batman and Robin, which
I'm willing to make myself.
this.
I've already said I'm willing to make myself suffer. I'm making that fair. I am making that fair.
And I'm thinking of it. Here's what he means when he says that is that if I watch Batman and Robin, I get to choose a movie of my choice for him to watch. So I'm running through it in my mind, trying to think of something that I want him to have to suffer through. If I have to suffer through Batman and Robin, I'll have an answer for him soon.
Jeez.
Okay, well, that is gonna do it for us tonight. We hope you all enjoyed this review. Hope it wasn't too painful.
Can we review more good movies?
Well, this is the end of the series until they make a sequel to 2021. So, unless we decide to do the animated movies, which those are pretty good actually. No, the most recent one, not the old
Most
ones.
recent one. Thank you.
Most recent one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, those are actually pretty, well. The one is pretty good. The new one's coming out soon.
I saw the trailer for that.
It
looked good.
We might check those out. Yeah. But make sure you check us out on social media: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Mostly Instagram and Twitter. So we're mostly active. Third Generation Wrestling podcast on Instagram. Podcast_third on Twitter. And check out the videos. If you listen to the audio, check out the video versions on YouTube. This may or may not be up soon, depending on. I have to send an email to YouTube. Some reason, full episodes. The latest one I tried to upload didn't fully upload for some reason. Outside of that, make sure you can listen to this podcast version on multiple platforms: Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. You can check us out on all those platforms. In our most recent shows, we have Hell in a Cell retrospective. No, Hell in a Cell of this year is a retrospective of WrestleMania 26. And you can check out on YouTube a watch along we did for the 4th of July. We did Great American Bash, Ric Flair versus Sting from 1990 for the NWA Championship. So that's what we got going on. MJ Book, you want to plug the countdown?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm available on all the platforms that you can listen to this show as well. Just today posted a brand new episode of favorite PlayStation 4 games. You can listen and watch my archives and kind of get a look at what I have available for you. I've had, of course, the real Big E and Rob on the show numerous times. And
right on. We appreciate y'all for listening, watching, and Rob, take us home.
Hey, always want to thank the listeners. We appreciate y'all. We want to hear from you. Look, there's a new variant out there. Just get vaccinated. It's the right thing to do. And I'm not going to get preachy about it, but that's it. And I feel like I'd be remiss. Biggie and I, we had a significant loss in our family. And I don't want to get too much into it, but I want to say rest in peace. We lost a very special person. And I'm a person of faith, and she is where she belongs. She was an angel on earth, and now she's an angel in heaven. Rest in peace.
Yes. My grandmother passed away recently, and we had the service this past weekend. But I feel like we sent her off the perfect way. The service wasn't. It was a good service, and we did what she would want us to do. We went out and we celebrated. We bowled as a family, had a good time with laughs, and I mean that's what she would want us to do. So it was all in all a sad occasion, but we turned into a fun weekend.
Yep, we paid tribute to her in the exact way she would want us to. She was all about family, and we were all together as a family celebrating her life.
I did meet her a couple of times. She was a very sweet lady. Very sweet lady.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep. Once again, we appreciate y'all. Take care. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. And we will speak to y'all again, I think, next week. Is Money in the Bank?
Oh, God, that is next week.
Next Sunday, July 18th.
Next Sunday, Money in the Bank. So we'll be back with a post show. Check us out. There may even be a pre-show for that one for predictions. So be on the lookout for that. Outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Peace.